I'm a player, I'm a flirt, a heartbreaker, it won't work. Don't you date him, you'll get hurt. Oh girl, yes I did my dirt, but I'm all cleaned up and ready for love. Don't stop before we start it.
Okay, so this video is actually a serious one, but before I discuss that, I just want to let you know real fast, super quick. I ordered this online. Smooth as Silk Deep Moisture Conditioner by Derwin. Like, my natural hair care mentor, if you will, like the chick that I look up to. She uses this. It has vegetable proteins in it. So it's really good for damaged hair. It's supposed to control the frizziness and give it some shine and really deep condition it. And it's organic. I don't have any all organic products. And it was only $8 on Amazon. It's kind of expensive if you get it in the store or in a salon, but on Amazon I got it for $8. So this is awesome. I'm going to try this out. Today is actually wash day, but I don't know if I feel like it. So we'll see. Detangling takes so long, so we'll see if I feel like it.
Excuse me, you're a hell of a guy. I mean, you're like pelican fly. I mean, you're so shy, and I'm loving your tie. You're like slicker than the guy with the thing on his eye. Oh, yes.
Anyways, I was watching the game, on BT. For those who don't know, I love the game. I love the game. And part of the reason I love it, I'm making a video, douchebag! Yeah, part of the reason I love the game is that, it reminds me of my ex. I was so young when I met him. I was 17 years old when I met him, and I was so naive and innocent and trusting, and he was 26 at the time. He was a man, and I didn't realize he was that much older than me at first, because like me, he had a baby face. I thought he was, I knew he was older. I thought he was like 20, but yeah, and he taught me a lot of things. We had that up and down, back and forth relationship, and I can totally identify with Melanie because I wanted to be with him. I knew that I cared about him and that I wanted to make it work, but there was just so much extra involved. We would just break up and get back together, and break up and get back together, and we're kind of together, but we're not really together, and we're checking in. Like, we did all that, like Melanie and Derwin did. And it was a long 3 years. Like, it was a very long time. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I can't even do this anymore. He proposed and he wanted to get married, and I was just like, I cared about him and I wanted to make it work, but I just felt like in that situation I was just so jaded, and I couldn't trust him. And as much as I wanted to be with him, I didn't want to end up with somebody that I didn't trust. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life going through somebody's cell phone and having to, I can't go out with my girls tonight because I know if I'm out, then he's going to be out, and who knows what he's going to be doing. He might get drunk and crash into the car, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I had to wrap myself up in him in order to control him. And I don't want to be with a man that I feel like I have to control. I want to feel like, his judgment is fine, that I can live my separate life and he can live his separate life, but we can still be together. I don't want him to surround me, you know what I mean? And I wanted something more, and I felt like if I was to marry him, I'd be settling, you know what I mean? I wanted to live a life where I don't want to be in this city forever, I want to go somewhere else. I want to see something more. I want a comfortable life, I don't need to be this rich, but I want him to be able to make it on his own, and I want to be able to make it on my own, and we come together and we can do something bigger, something better for ourselves and for our children. And I didn't feel like I could have that with him. I felt like with him, I could literally peek into my future and see a lot of nights of crying. I could see a lot of stressing about him, and I didn't like the person that I was with him. I loved him, I cared about him, But at the same time, whenever we were together, we were arguing. We were fighting, like physically fighting. Like I was another person. Like I was just this mean, angry, resentful, demented chick when I was with him. And that's not who I am. Like anybody that knows me knows that I'm a bubbly, goofy, nutso, random chick. You know, and that angry person that I was out of frustration, you know, because I knew that he loved me, but he couldn't love me the way that I wanted him to, the way that I needed him to. And I think that's why it's taken me so long to get into another relationship. Why I find so many things wrong with every guy that I meet, because I was so trusting and I just immersed myself in him so quickly because I was so young and he was the person I felt something so strongly, and because we were dating like 3 weeks when he told me that he loved me, and it just happened so quickly that now if I don't feel that spark really fast, I'm bored and I want to move on. I feel like it's not real, and it also feels like because of the other dude that I cared about, that I honestly could have seen myself marrying. Like I felt like he was so perfect. Like I felt like he was the one. Even we weren't in a relationship, but just we were friends, and I just felt like if he could just see me the way that I see him, like we could be something big. I felt like he was motivated and I was motivated, and I felt like we could help each other and we could build on each other, and like his shortcomings I could come through in a clutch for him, and like we could be something big. And it didn't work out that way, obviously. But it's just like, I don't know, it makes me a little tiptoey with dudes, and I can see a dude that like perfect example. This was probably like 2 weeks ago. A guy approached me at work, and he was just like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was just something along the lines about me being natural, my natural hair, and how beautiful it was, and how, you know, you don't see a lot of women wearing their hair free of, you know, weave and free of chemicals these days, and the ones that he's come into contact with at least, you know, their hair is kind of wild and crazy, and they don't do a whole lot with it. And he was just excited to see a woman that was beautiful and natural, and I seem to have a very sweet spirit, you know, and that he really likes to get to know me. And at the time, I felt really giddy, and I was super flattered, and he was a nice-looking guy, and I took his number, and I never called him. Because when I got home, I was like, oh, he's so nice, but he's a little chunky. And I was like, oh, you know, but he has a cute face, but his hair is kind of high. I don't really like guys with hair. And I'm like, well, he's a little light. Is he mixed with something? Like, I'm not down with the swirl. Like, I'm just looking for things to be wrong, and I do that a lot. And it's like every guy that approaches me, I find something wrong in him. And it's like I feel myself constantly going in a little circle. Like when I lay in my bed at night, I go to bed early. Those who don't know, I used to, when I was younger, like, I don't know, 18 to 19 in the dorm, I used to stay up like 4 in the morning. Like, we'd be in the lobby every night playing 10 fingers. Like, we would be up hard. But these days, I don't know. 9 o'clock, I'm out like a light. Like, I know a dude who I'm really cool with. We've been friends for like 4 or 5 years. We're super cool. And, you know, he works at night. Sometimes he works 2 jobs now, so he works at night a lot. So when he gets off work at 11 and 12, and he wants to talk on the phone like we used to. And I really want to talk to him. Like, that's my dude. But I'm tired, and it's, like, hard work for me to stay up. And I'll just be so tired. I'm like, oh, God. It's hard for me to stay up. Anyways, so normally I'm in my bed around 8 or 9, and I may still be updating statuses on Facebook through my cell phone, but believe I'm in my PJs laying in my bed, and I'll just be laying there for an hour or 2, and I'll be reciting poetry to myself. Y'all may think this weird, but this is a true story. I'll be reciting poetry to myself, just making it up as I go along, about my day, about my life, about what I hope for, about what I dream of, just making up things, just randomly creating poetry. And if it's something really good, I'll get up, turn the light, and write it down. But mostly, I'm just kind of soothing myself to sleep. and I'll just be, rattling things off, saying things that sound nice. That and reminiscing. I kind of go in this circle where I'm like, dang, I should call my ex. Why? Because I miss him. And then I'm like, dang, that nigga was nuts. and we're detrimental for one another. Like, we don't mesh. Don't even think about it. And then, of course, I don't, because that would be bad. And then I'm thinking, dang, about that one that got away. About that dude who, I always say I've never been in love, but I'm telling you, I loved that dude. I loved him. And I knew that we would get married. I knew that we would be together. And even when he linked up with that other chick, I just knew that it wouldn't work. I knew for a fact that he would come back to me. I knew that we were where it was at, and I just knew we were going to be together. And I'm coming to the realization that he's in love, that he's with somebody that he cares about, that he's going to be with, and sucks for me, but I'm very happy for him. And it puts me in a position like, why are you holding on to somebody that's not for you? He belongs to someone else. Like, you need to stop pushing people away. And it really makes me think about this girl. I have every intention of hanging out with her because she's super sweet and cool. And then I don't really want to talk to her because she always asks me about me and about my personal life, and I don't really want to open up like that to somebody, which is weird because I open up so much in my videos, but that's another story. And I don't know, I just don't like to open up to people. I don't really like to involve myself with people. Icky. And I'm just not in a place right now where I can open up. I can even remember this dude that I liked him. Not like in love, like I'm so wrapped up in him type deal, but I thought he was really interesting and cool, and he wasn't even my type. He was not my type. But I found him so funny and intriguing, and I really wanted to get to know him, and I went to see him, and I don't know, I really liked him. And of course, I'm not down for the long distance thing anymore. It's a bit much, and I shouldn't do it again. I've done it before, and it's no fun. But I really liked him, and according to him, he liked me, but he was getting deployed, so that wouldn't have worked. But I did like him, and I don't know. I find it's easier. Long distance relationships are easier for me because they don't have to be in my face all the time. I can live my life and I can do me, but I can still have that attachment, that closeness to someone without actually having to be with someone, and I love that, honestly. Long distance relationships work the best for me. They've always been the best for me, and whenever you see each other, it's like the first time because you spent so much time apart. I like that. So, but what I feel like it's kind of detrimental to me as a person because I'm not used to having that closeness. I don't know how to make the day-to-day of a relationship work because I haven't experienced it in so long. When I was cohabitating with my ex, our day-to-day was a mess. So I don't know how to function in a normal day-to-day living situation. And I don't know, the people across the street are staring at me. They think I'm weird because I'm talking to this camera, and it's making me feel really uncomfortable. And that's why I'm talking like this right now. They're freaking looking at me. I want to turn and look at them and make a crazy face. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to cut this video short, and I'll talk to you about this crazy stuff on a later date.
I'm all cleaned up and ready for love. Don't stop before we start it. Baby, let me show you where my heart is.